Well, hello. Welcome to Pepper's Echo. Yeah, it's the first one for the new year. So hope you're all. Let me just take this off so I can actually make me smaller. There we go. Hope you all having a good new year so far. I know there's a couple of things. So yeah, welcome to everybody. It's my first time back. I've been a bit stressed about coming back again. Been watching Ronaldo and the Colonel and everybody as well. So yeah, it's been something I'm wondering if I should worry about coming back again because I've been away so long. So, but it's good to see you all, if I can put it that way. It's really good to see you all, and great to have you back in the saddle again. Yeah, I suppose we'll have to start up slowly from scratch, from the bottom again, because I'm sure that I've lost quite a few people in the process. But cheers to you guys that have stayed. Let's take a look who's here. I've got Buzzy. Thank you very much for always checking for that stream. Last week, I just decided, you know what, I was also pretty hectic in that, and I just decided, no, I'm not going to stream, especially with the load shedding and that in South Africa. And so I just thought, you know what, I'm probably going to have little enough people. If we have done load shedding, I'm going to be just preaching down a passageway. Debbie Moray, how are you keeping? You are supposed to be tucked in bed, not in front of your computer. I hope you're on your phone or something like that. I hope you're getting well soon. Get well wishes and thoughts and prayers to you all as well there. Cameron, I'm thinking of you so very much. I was absolutely devastated to hear that your father was mugged the other day as well. That's all you need on top of everything that is happening. I'm really sorry to hear that. It's very frustrating to hear these things, and thoughts and prayers to you as well there, my friend. I've actually been thinking of you quite a lot. So yeah, it's been a bumpy ride since last year. Last year's end, I don't know when we ended it and when we're starting it. So I suppose I can actually just start by telling everybody what's happened and how we're going and that. I see there's very few people. Yes, I don't know if I'm just going to have a chat to a few people. As I said, I suppose I've lost a lot in the process. But yes, as you know, most people will know that I lost my mom after we went down, during the time that we went down to South Africa. And yeah, so I'd like to do a little dedication to my mom, who has looked after me on her own since I was 9 years old. My father passed when I was 8 or 9, I can't remember actually. And yeah, it's been quite a hard pill, a bitter pill to swallow in the process as well. I'll tell you the whole story as we go. But yeah, that's Mom in good days. And yeah, the whole thing is I don't know if it's actually hit home yet. It was difficult last Sunday, and I don't know where to put these pictures. And you swing them around anyway. I can stand this side. It was difficult last Sunday, and because I think last Sunday was the first Sunday that it dawned upon me that I have no one to phone after well, I didn't have a stream, but still, yeah, that was taken in Cape Town from the only house we ever owned. So yeah, that was on Mother's Day in Johannesburg in 2018. But yeah, we flew down. What was it? The 20th of January, and shame. Debbie and Colin, bless their hearts, did so very much. I've got to, and I hope you don't mind me mentioning it, did so very much for us. Because let me tell you what happened. First of all, we got there, and Debbie had us off to the home affairs to go and get our passport applications, which we did. And we got that, and then we got back the evening, and we were going to go for, I had an appointment for my driver's license the next day, and that was the Tuesday that we got there. So the Tuesday evening, all of a sudden, my uncle phoned and said, things are really bad, you've got to try and get here. And we were in quite a flipped out state. I mean, it was like about 6:45, 7 o'clock at night, and we were absolutely, Ina and I were we weren't sure which way. We were just bouncing. And Debbie climbed onto the computer, and I don't know what she does. It's some kind of magic or whatever, but next thing, she just sent through things and said, look, nothing this evening. Here's your tickets. Your flights have been moved until tomorrow morning. There you go. Which was absolutely awesome. I don't think we could have got that done. So on Wednesday morning, we flew down to PE, and we got to see my mom, who was actually very, very ill on Wednesday. Things were not good. So yeah, Wednesday evening we went home, and I tried to arrange for my brother to come down, and I had place for him to stay at my cousin's place because it was my uncle and aunt all staying with my aunt and Ina and myself. And so he said no, he'll come down as well. And then Thursday, Ina and I got to spend most of the day from about 11 o'clock the morning, 10, 11 in the morning, until, well, we stayed there until about 8:30 the evening with her. And she had a little bit of interaction with us, very, very slightly. I mean, she was still so confused, couldn't speak. She had a infection in her mouth, which made her mouth look like it was bleeding. She was passing blood clots. Her kidneys were failing. She had cellulitis on the leg, which was an infection. It was absolutely, it's something that I wouldn't like to regurgitate again. And that's why, hopefully, if anybody else wants to know, you're listening. Yeah, my brother, I nearly had hernias because I then asked the doctor if he could give more pain medication. He said, yeah, but then she's going to be right out of it totally. So I asked to wait for my brother to get there. And then I think it was almost like 6 o'clock the evening when my brother got there eventually. But she got to see my brother and she recognized him and everything. And 8:30 we went home. And at 3:20 on Friday morning, the 21st, 25th, we got the call that she'd passed away. Yeah, and then there was nobody else. So I ended up running around because the hospital didn't have a morgue. So I had to phone around and that to eventually get a funeral home at 3:30 in the morning to be able to go and fetch Mom from the hospital. And then the next day started. And that was about, you know what, getting funerals arranged. My aunt spoke to the minister. The funeral home that I went to got to speak to the minister. Fortunately, my mom wanted to be cremated, so I had to organize that. And yeah, then I was trying to. She at least had a funeral policy, and if I can tell you something right now, if you don't have a funeral policy, do yourself a favor. You're going to kick your kids or somebody in the gut terribly if you do not have that and you do pass away. Because we had a very, very, very simple funeral. Should I say, memorial service at the old age home where she'd stayed so that her friends and that could be there. And how's it, Orbot? How are you keeping? Always good to see our 7-star Michelin chef. But yeah, we had a very, very simple little service. And I mean, the minister was like 600 Rand, or 800 Rand, I think it was, yeah. And my cousin organized the sound. I didn't even realize, if you watch the clip, the funeral is on Pepper's Echoes videos if you wanted to see it. I didn't even realize there's a TV behind. Ina designed the little pamphlets for the funeral. My cousin and them had that printed for us. Very, very basic. We couldn't get to decide who, one person wanted the ashes here and the other wanted the ashes there and everything. And it was quite a thing. And the one time I was there, the lady said, well, these are 2 boxes. We could split them. So I eventually had ashes split in 2 little wooden boxes, standard wooden boxes, nothing funny or anything like that. And yeah, just for getting the death certificate, flowers, the box, and for fetching her body and the cremation was, I think, 22,500 Rand. And that's, as I said, very basic. A lot of people were doing stuff for us and had sent things. So yeah, it is absolutely mad what it costs for a funeral. I don't know what it's going to cost if you have to do the burial thing and the church thing and everything like that still as well. But yes, and then you're running around trying to organize stuff, because now I had to get a death certificate. Then I had to get to her pension fund to mail them to say, listen, she's passed away, don't pay anymore, anything like that. And then you'll see that I put money grabbers and things like that I put on the thumbnail, because I'm busy with Liberty Life still, because I can't get this flipping thing paid back. I said to them, Mom has passed away. I don't even know when it was, but I know when she passed away, but I don't know when it was, but they'd apparently paid out after her death. And this is like 2 or 3 days, so it must have been like a day or 2 afterwards. And there was a little sort of like investment thing there, but it doesn't pay out. So you can arrange like a pension type investment. It doesn't pay out the money, like just filters back to them when it's finished. But she got like 215 Rand from them every month, and that was like addition to her pension. But I got this mail back. We can't close the thing now. Right now, you first got to pay this back for us, please, because we paid this out afterwards. So Liberty is, you know what, I was beyond myself, because I mean, for crying out loud, 215 Rand a day or 2. Really, how's people's minds? How desperate are you for money? Because now I tried to pay that back, but every time I put a number, a reference, a whatever into the reference part, it won't add on the beneficiary or make the payment. So I said to them, this is the problem. I mailed them, and they mailed me back again and said, oh, well, just put the ID number in there. You know what? I don't know what part of the fact that anything in the reference doesn't work, but yeah. So I'm still with that at the moment. Then, okay, the pension fund went okay. I needed to put a death certificate and everything in there. They also put a clause of warning in. It did come a little late, so if we paid, you're going to have to pay this back. So everybody's worried that they'll pay out some money too much. As I said, Liberty was just the cake for me. At 215 Rand, they could have just said, you know what, we're really, really sorry. I hope that buys you some airtime or something. Because having to try and get hold of these people, including especially Liberty, and the medical aid was mad to try and get hold of as well. I phoned and phoned and phoned. I had 100 Rand airtime. I phoned that out. Eventually, I said to I need to put more airtime on, because I was speaking to the one lady, and next thing, okay, right, fine, put some more airtime on. When I finished, and that was just one set of calls, when I finished, I basically used another 60 Rand. So in one set of calls, I'd used 160 Rands airtime on phoning out. They really don't make it easy for you, because you don't know where to go, because you're getting in there and nothing says, you know what, everything's automated. I hate these automated things. So you don't know. And then you get through to this one, and this one goes, no, you're not with this over here. You've got to contact these people over there. Do you have a number? No. When you go on, you press this number. So you go back on again, wait for how long, press this number and wait. And then it's like, hang on, it's not here. And yeah. So, but yeah, eventually got to Liberty with their 215 Rand still outstanding. And then I got to the pension fund. That seems to have been wrapped up. I don't think anything's been paid out. I'll still have to take a look-see. But then we got to the medical aid. The medical aid has a problem. No, they now need not only the death certificate, but they need an executor. And I said, well, you know what? There's nothing formal. There is a letter that just said, my cousin's the executor of the will. No, they then need a letter to say the clerk of the master of the court needs to issue a letter stating that my cousin is the executor and that everything can be done through her. So we can't do it that day. So the next morning we arrange with my cousin to meet us like sparrow fart at the master of the court. We get to the master of the court, and they say, yeah, but on her death certificate it says married. So they want a marriage certificate and my father's death certificate. So off we go to Home Affairs in Port Elizabeth. It's a shit show, because we ended up in a shed in the parking lot, and then you don't know where you're sitting. People are sitting all over the place, and this one guy comes walking around and says, what you here for? I said, I need to get a death certificate and a marriage certificate. You're in the wrong row. I'm like, what row? But anyway, after waiting ages and ages, you get in, you take a number. So I get there. The lady says, I said, I don't know my dad's ID number, everything. I eventually got my dad's date of birth and date of death from my brother, who had a little pamphlet from his funeral service still. But still to this very day, I don't have his ID number. And the marriage certificate, because then I said, you made the mistake. Just reprint me a death certificate then that says widowed. And then they went, no, they were married in 1945. So there was no ID numbers then, so they can't put widowed then. Anything from those times, if you were divorced or married, when you die, they still say married. So I said, okay, fine, just give me the marriage certificate then, okay? And they write the marriage certificate then down, and I've got to go and fetch back into to get a number. So I go to the window. The lady looks at me, she says, yes. I said, I just need a number so I can go and pay. She says, "Where did you come from?" I said, "That window over there." She says, "No, no, 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 back in the queue." And there's like a whole queue of chairs all waiting to come and fetch a number. So I'm back in the queue to fetch a number to go and pay. Now that I've paid, I've got to take the paper back to the lady at the window, which I can't just do. So back in the queue for a number. Eventually get a number, back in the queue to go and get this done. Then I said to her, but I still need my dad's death certificate. What can I do? She says, well, we can get the unabridged one and you can try with the date of birth and things. And so we fill in for that and get into the queue for a number and pay and get into the queue for a number and back into the queue for eventually, hopefully we get it in. She said, I always said, how long? She's about 3 or 4 months. I said, so you will SMS when you get when it's ready. The answer to that was maybe. So I said, well, hopefully my cousin can get that for us done or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. The same thing. So, between running around and trying to make sure that everybody's taken care of, make sure everybody's okay, make sure everybody's, all right. It's been it was like just business type of thing. It never got to even resonate with me. We did the memorial service. As I said, it's on the Pepper's Echo site if you want to. But it's an absolute shit show because now I'm still getting the medical bills mailed to me. The last one I got, I think there's 1,200 that I've got to pay to because there's nobody else to pay. So I've got to pay up everything because I went to close Telkom. I had to pay the last month there. I have, I think, Empath or Pathcare, whatever, they've got like 1,200 Rand outstanding in Cape Town that I've still got to pay. Now there's another bill that came out of 252,000. I think there's 25,000. However, it still states under medical aid. So I'm hoping they will pay it because I don't know how I'm going to pay 25,000 Rand. They're going to have to let me pay it off or something like that. But yeah, so I'm still dealing with it. It's still very much alive. You know what? You wish you can put it down to sleep or put it down to bed. How's it, Nick Miller? How are you keeping, my friend? Always good to see you. But yeah, so it was totally. I was running around just absolutely doing business. We hired the cheapy Golf again, the clapped out Golf, but it was so clapped out that even the central locking wasn't even working on it. So what happens is if you open the car, the passenger sides would go up and down, up and down, up and down. So the passenger had to sort of like grab it at the right time to open it. And eventually we went and we actually took a hire car, which was like a little Honda Jazz. And I think that saved us because we would spend so much time just driving around, sorting out. So that's basically what PE was. We didn't get to see the sea. We didn't get to do anything. It was just dealing with my mom's stuff. And as I said, I'm still stuck with it at the moment. So I don't know how long these things get stuck with. And I just don't know if you, when it does get hit. I did get to see a lovely Alison. Shame she was there as well. Her mother passed away last year, the same time around about. And yeah, she spoke to us as well. It was very, very nice seeing her. We were very, very chuffed to be able to see her as such as well. So a friend of mine then, a very, very good friend of mine, my mom and dad were very good friends with her. And we always smile and laugh because she always says she's the reason I was born because my mom and dad were friends with her mom and dad when they were in Mufulira in Zambia. And when they moved down to South Africa, then her mom had a little baby girl. And my mom went, oh, I wish I could have one. And she said, well, then you know what to do. So I don't know who was more surprised 9 months later, the people or my dad, when I popped in and said, hello. So, yes, Rihanna was the reason I was born, but she is very, very kind person to us. And she said, well, she's flying in from the UK. Her husband flew in earlier because it's her mom's 80th birthday, his mom's 80th birthday. So she said they're coming in on the 8th. So we changed planes because by this time I was ready to go home. She said, well, can you change your flights to get in on the 8th? And then, spend the weekend with us. We'll take care of everything. We'll take you to the hotel. I said, the car. She says, do you have a car? I said, no. She says, okay, we'll rent your car. I said, no, I can do myself. I just need somebody to put a credit card down because they want like 27,000 or something like that. So yeah, yo, my liver massacant. I was watching your show yesterday, Ronaldo. What's the thing when all of a sudden shit comes in your face, eh? Yeah, it was very good, my friend, very good. But anyway, so we, yeah, I was also chuckling in my bed there. But yeah, so we arranged to actually meet her there as well, which is great. This is just something that I thought was really, really good. A little saying, when your parents die, it doesn't hit you all at once. And then all of a sudden you feel alone and realize that nobody in the world can take the place of your parents. And yeah, so that is how I kind of feel. And, the other day it was just, I suddenly thought, who's going to pray for me these days? Because no one's worried about my soul except my mother. But yeah, shame. Ina said, I will. So that was very nice. But anyway, we got to changing our flight. 1,200 and something, 1,300 to change your flight just from one day to another. And we were ready to go home. So we wanted to move our China flight. 12,500 Rand. We said, no, we can't do that. And then Debbie and Colin said, look, just pull in here. We'll take care of you. But anyway, this is us, everybody. This is the lady I was talking about, Rihanna, that I grew up with on the farms and that. We've been friends since little kids. That's her husband and her son, and that's obviously her husband's mother. But yeah, we went to a Portuguese restaurant in Pretoria. There we are, and there's the missus. Very, very nice. So yeah, as I say, it still feels unreal that my mom's not there. I was just very, very pleased. Ina and I were pleased that we got there the day before, that we got to spend the day with her before she passed. And yeah, but it all just felt like business. As I say, I don't think it's really sunk in that she's not here anymore. It was just like last Sunday that when I suddenly realized you have nobody to phone anymore. Why do you keep these Skype minutes? Because you can't. So yeah, as Ronaldo says, it's so true. For the last few months, I've been reflecting on my parents and focusing on appreciating them a lot. El's dad's passing hit us hard. Yes. You don't expect it. You always every year coming to visit South Africa. Ronaldo, I didn't get to see you this year. It was just one heap getting through what's her name. So yeah, appreciate your parents, because that hole that is left when they're gone it's just unfillable. If there is such a word, unfillable. Yeah. But anyway, so Rihanna and them booked us into I still have my Hard Rock Cafe stuff. Good stuff, man. That's actually good quality stuff. My Hard Rock t-shirts are still lasting. So, and they were bought at the Hard Rock, so not at the market. So they should last. But yeah, that's the view from the little boutique hotel that we stayed at. I don't want to bore you guys too much with everything. I've now already told you all the sad stuff, and I really don't want to hop on it. But then we went to a place called Ludwig's Roses. There we go. And they, just outside Pretoria, have all the roses of every kind and everything there. We went to go and have something to eat there. There's everyone walking. Lovely people, those. And of course, my sinuses and what's the names? kicked into first gear, absolutely first gear. Sinuses and hay fever just like took first place. And then, of course, Peach took a chance at being a rose princess as well. There's the parking lot. There's the little hotel. Very, very nice. There's from the sort of like eating area there. There's everybody. Now, just take a look at this lady here. She grew up in, most of you won't know it, but some of you who come from little places will know it maybe. Orkney. There was a very famous program on, what's the name, on TV called Orkney Snorkney. Rihanna lived in Orkney as well. And yeah, we grew up with chickens, and I have pictures of us with chickens in the backyard and things like that. But she studied really, really hard, and she actually had a good example because her mother studied so much. And her mother studied as a hobby. I mean, she was like 60 years old, still doing degrees, and like, what are you doing with them? No, it's just fun to study. But Rihanna studied really, really hard, and she is just a dead normal person. But you wouldn't say that she's the chief executive officer of KPMG in London. So yeah, just put it there. She's basically the top dog in KPMG in London. She, like, on the way over, did a quick 4 billion transfer type of thing for clients and stuff to that effect. So yeah, it's amazing that you still get people that are flat on the earth. We also, the Wednesday, we were able to take Ina, and the sad thing is that the graveyards, it was in, I don't know if you guys will know this, Waterval Boven. And we were able to take her to her father's grave. Her mother's ashes have been put into the grave there as well. So, or buried next to it. But unfortunately, it was a sort of a teardrop, and that has been broken off. And if you take a look, you can see that everything is just overgrown. We were actually sort of hopping from grave to grave to get to her father's grave there. But because we don't know when we'll be coming back, yeah, taking the kids to the park, have fun, enjoy, lock you down. Lots of love. Thanks, Ronaldo. Thanks for popping in, bud. And then if you go to a place called Alzur on the way between basically Nelspruit and Johannesburg or Pretoria, it's got a beautiful lookout for basically tourists as well, because the curio shop is tourist priced. There it is there as well. And there you can see it has rhinos and gemsbok and kudus, and it has zebras and everything through there that we saw. Those are some of the buck there. I didn't want to bring 500 photos down, but there were zebras there as well. But yeah, they're not there yet. Only thing we didn't see there that I did have before or have seen before there is giraffe, and I think there's an elephant there as well that we didn't see there this time either. Okay, there's another one. Maybe, yeah, they're the zebras. See, I wasn't lying. Okay, Buzzy. Okay, and then what a special evening. Debbie and Ina got to do a ladies' night. The strippers. I think Ronaldo was there doing a stripper chat. No, I'm kidding. That was actually wonderful. We went to Emperor's, and Ina, Debbie took Ina along for a ladies' night to go and watch Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boys. So the boys also went to Emperor's, and Colin went with me as well. There we go. There we were all there. And yeah, this is what I was talking about. Two angels. You just don't see the wings. If it wasn't for those two people who basically just picked us up and carried us when we you know what, when we fell apart, they just like put it together. And just the last Thursday, we were trying to get this, and Colin was racing from the morning to the evening all around getting stuff. I wanted a biltong maker. We went to like 2 different macros to get this biltong maker. And racing, we got a driver's license. Now, what a pleasure. Waterfall Center in Midrand. Colin took me there, and no, don't worry, you don't need an appointment. Come in. But they were friendly, so clean, efficient, and I went in, and the guy said, well, Colin said, oh, it's a little bit busy. So he said, how long? The guy said, about 45 minutes to an hour. And he did not lie. 45 minutes to an hour, I went and got my driver's license and everything like that. So, yeah, hopefully that they'll send it, because Debbie and Colin have been kind enough to say they'll pick it up for us. But yeah, it's still in the middle of the night. Returning from this, we went to the police station. So we hadn't finished having them sort us out. By the middle of the night, they were still dragging us off to the police station. We got, what's the name's done? Affidavits done. If you want to see 2 absolutely wonderful people, I cannot say thank you enough for everything they did for us. It was absolutely just phenomenal and amazing. You too, thank you. Yeah, I hope I haven't missed anything. When we got to them on Monday, I was just throwing up like a trooper there. The more I sat down, the more I got up and ran. Sort of like I took the position of on my knees in front of the toilet when I went there eventually, and they ended up having to take me to the doctor, and then they had tablets for us which worked and sorted out, and they were carrying Energides around, getting me all hydrated again. It was absolutely, affidavits came in like last minute, but yeah, it was fantastic. It was just amazing. It was probably one of the nicest things, is actually staying with 2 wonderful people like that. What else? Yeah, Colin, I still shudder when I have to take pills and make sure that shock machine isn't around or anything like that, because it reminds you consistently to take your tablets. There was something that I wanted to say, but I'll probably remember it later on again. But on our way home, Debbie and Ina were extremely excited about something. Apparently there in South Africa, if you look all over the place, there are adverts for Naked. Now it's Naked Insurance, because there's no frills. Colin's now converted vapes. Go, Colin. But you're going to enjoy this. Watch your screen tightly. And I don't think I've got the sound on my share, so you're not going to hear the sound, because everyone is killing themselves laughing in the car. But they said, you've got to drive past this sign. It's being put up now. It's being put up. And so we ended up driving past this sign. And if you take a look, there's the sign, and everyone's like, look. Look at what this sign says. And that's what the sign says. Andre got naked at the biltong shop. So that is in the middle of Johannesburg. My name is up there for disgracing myself at the biltong store. Yeah, you want to take a look again. But yeah, I don't have the sound on now. But yeah, everyone was killing themselves in the car. So yeah, that's the last little bit there. So yeah, Shame Colin's visiting your aunt for me as my cousin. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear passed. So he's paying respects and picking her spirits up. Well, I couldn't think of anybody better to go to see your cousin. Did you see my name? Did you see my name, Cameron? You saw my name? It's up there. Oh, I wanted to show you as well. I did do something special. I don't know if you're going to see this. I put on underneath my wolf angel wings, and there's my mom's birth date and passing date over there. Had that done there. Yeah. So yeah. How'd you like the new opening, by the way? How'd you like the new opening? I actually sort of incorporated the Motley Mix opening into the Pepper's Echo opening, because I will take the Motley Mix's videos, the content videos, and put them onto Pepper's Echo so that we don't have more different ones on there. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. I always worry about what to chat about and what to put up here and things to that effect, etc., etc. And I don't want to do politics, because I think Ronaldo and Chris do a really, really good job about that. The links are in the bottom to Ronaldo's channel and to Chris's channel. They are in the bottom there. We were very, very happy to see the pooches again, as Hendo would call them, the royal pooches. But yeah, we came to fetch them. They were at a parlor. They were first in a cage on top stairs, and then they were brought downstairs. And by the time we got to fetch them, they were running around the shop freely. Their door was open. They could come in and out as they wanted to, because there was a little doggy door in front of the shop door, so they couldn't go out. But yeah, so they just did the rule the roost and take over thing again. And yeah, I went to fetch them the Saturday that we got back. We went to fetch them immediately. And it's amazing, like their suitcase and everything. I'm like, is it us coming back or the dogs? But yeah. The first week of school's okay. I suppose. We don't. I don't complain. I don't do too much. I am signing up at the moment for online classes as well. To give some online classes for a company in the US. I was quite interested in just taking a look and seeing the US refugee program and that, because but the thing is, there's a couple of stipulations. A, you've got to be in South Africa. B, you've got to be oppressed or something to that effect as well. So I'm not in South Africa, although I'm not there because I can't get work there. So I am, I still have my ID and the passport and an address and everything there. So I could probably go back to South Africa to request it. But then I haven't really been oppressed or would I say affected by South Africa as such. So I think they're going to have to be pretty strict with their rules, because I don't think they can take on the whole of South Africa coming in. I know there's a lot of people. I was reading the newspaper. Funnily enough, it was so nice to pick up a newspaper again on the way back. I found the Star at the airport, and I read it from cover to cover in the plane. Yeah, funnily enough, I didn't sleep at all on the plane. I just like no sleep and the first week back was almost like no sleep either. It was terrible to try and sleep. But yeah, I was reading the paper on the way back as well. And I mean, classes, they were talking about schools that had up to 93 kids in a class. And I thought, when you hit 40, you think you've got a big class. Because I know my son was in a class of 40, but 93, I'm assuming it's not all over the place, and it's public schools, not private schools, but crumbs, that's ridiculous. But also, a lot of South Africans is like, no, we're staying here, we're not moving. And I do understand that, and I think that is a pretty wise choice to be able to do, is to say, you know what, if I'm settled, if I'm invested, if I've got a house and I've got a work and everything to that effect, I do believe that with the pressure or the maybe the push from other countries, I do believe that we would possibly come around. It's the same thing I also tell you guys. I mean, I cannot speak on the political side of China and the US and South Africa, except for South Africa. I can tell you that they're absolutely tossers, but yeah. And what a baboon, shouldn't say that. I know Ramaphosa is, because you know what? You don't slap a hand like the insults he's throwing to America is just like stupid, but yeah. But people say, you know what, we're not going. But on the other hand, I do believe that there are thousands of people who will want to go. And yeah, I don't think that they can just take that kind of influx as well. They would probably need to say, you know, you need to have prove some form of loss or something to that effect. Because my thing is, and this is why I also say, before you actually come and go to Asia, because yeah, I'm comfortable, yeah, but you must understand that I own nothing. I do not own the TV that I watch. I don't own the bed that I sleep on, the table that I eat food at. You cannot get citizenship here. I also don't know if you want to get citizenship here, nor can you get in Cambodia or anywhere like that, because Asian countries you just can't get from. That is why we looked at wanting to go to, it was New Zealand first of all. You would like to be able to find a place that you can actually work and be able to say, you know, I can get citizenship to be able to settle in, because I don't know if we would ever be able to go back to South Africa to retire there. A, it's going to be too expensive. B, if we can afford it, where are we going to end up staying? And would we be able to afford to get anything to stay there? You know, there's nothing. You can't put a nest egg together and say, I'll buy a place. I saw someone the other day on YouTube who said, oh, I bought a place in China. And I thought, you know, a fat lot of good that's done you, because you can't live here. You know, when you're not working here, what you're going to do? So, yeah, as I say, and on the political side, I leave that to Chris and Ronaldo. But yeah, you can't just back up and go. And I do not always suggest coming and going from here, because it is you can't settle. You know, for as long as you work, you can probably keep head above water. Which is also becoming more and more difficult these days because of so many people that, you know, it's becoming less and less opportune. And yeah, so I do believe, yeah, what's Cameron say? Last heard, over 40,000 people want to leave South Africa. So you can imagine, I don't think the United States is quite, you know, they're very kind and they're very open and they are generous and they are willing to help. But I don't think they're opening up a free for all. And I don't think they are ready to, I'm not saying they can't take them. I'm just saying I don't think they're ready to accept just 40,000 people just streaming in there from South Africa. If I had the opportunity, let me tell you, I would take it. I would take it. I mean, number one, I would take it if Australia did it, if New Zealand did it, if Portugal did it, or whatever. Portugal, why did that come to mind? I don't know. But if any country that I could actually settle in to become a citizen of, so that I know that I won't get kicked out, you know what, I'm happy to earn my own money, make my own nest egg, live humbly, and I don't want to live off the country. I just want to know that I can stay in there when I am old and I can retire there as well. Also, it helps to be able to carry your investment, because I'd probably end up transferring my investment from South Africa to there, because it's a much stronger currency as such. And I do believe it's going to get even stronger with Trump. Trump's having to make some really harsh decisions. And I know people are throwing mud at him without any backing or justifications whatsoever. And he plays a long game. So if you take a look at the end, he is going to have the results, already has the results on his plate. I don't know why I'm talking politics. Debbie, it's refreshing to be able to travel light, but as you say, the security of citizenship has benefits. Most definitely, you just don't know where you can stay in the end. You know what? I've got to preferably die before I want to retire, type of thing. Cameron says, my dad says that there is going to be starvation if all those people leave. Well, especially if they're people in key positions, and America's saying, hey, you know what? We've got farms and you guys are corporate farmers, pull in and start running farms and things like that. Yeah, who's going to make the food? I know Julia said farmers should stop making food or producing food. I think he thinks Woolworths and Checkers and ShopRite just pop it onto the shelves there, but yeah. And then I was also reading in the newspaper, and that was from the 14th of February's newspaper, so it's old news, but the Cobra effect. Because they're wanting to put more sin tax onto alcohol so that they can control the consumption of alcohol because of the abuse of alcohol, etc., they are now justifying to put sin tax on them. And basically they're saying that's just going to create the Cobra effect. Now, what the Cobra effect is when India had colonized, the UK had colonized, British had colonized India, at one stage they found that there was far too many cobras around the place. So they started a program where they would pay you if you killed a cobra and brought it into them. So for every cobra that you brought in, you could be compensated for. But in the end, people grew clever. They found that it's far easier and far more lucrative to start breeding cobras to hand in, or to kill and hand in and to make money out of that, than what it is to go hunting cobras. So when that happened, this big boom happened, then the British said, no, that's not working anymore, that's off. So what did the breeders do? They let all their cobras go. Next thing, the country actually had bigger problem with cobras than what they had when they started the program. And the same thing is going to end up with sin tax. If you take a look in the US and that, when they put a block down on alcohol and that, next thing there was, it became huge mafias, trafficking, underworld trafficking. Drinking was harder. It was harder to actually control alcohol or keep tabs on alcohol. The abuse of alcohol, illegal moonlight stands and alcohol producing stands came up and things like that. The same thing will happen in South Africa. I think the only people who probably benefit from it is the government, because they're the only people who are involved with illegal smuggling and things to that effect, i.e., Koptuk and the illegal cigarette trade, and that's why she banned cigarettes, and that came up. So basically what they are going to do is the Cobra effect. They are going to create an uncontrollable criminal syndicates and mafia state of alcohol, and then alcohol will be even more difficult to control, and abuse and measuring of it is not going to be able to be done. There is no ways. I mean, you saw with the cigarette situation in South Africa as well, that there was no one who actually stopped smoking. They just found a different way, and obviously that is what happened to South Africa with the cigarettes. The ladies from the government, Koptuk and her son-in-law, and that, they benefited because the illegal cigarette trade boomed through the roof. Could they control it? No, they couldn't. Yeah. But one thing I did realize is in the airports, I can actually vape on the toilet. So I didn't have to go and find a smoking area, although Hong Kong has a very nice little garden place there as well where you can go and smoke. But In the other places, I can go and smoke in the toilets. And I found if you are very careful on the plane, you can go to the toilet on the plane and have a vape or two as well. But a couple of things that I actually got from a chap named Ismo is like, have you ever sat on the toilet, in a public toilet, and somebody knocks on the door? What do you say? Hello, is it me you're looking for? You know, what do you say? Do you just like keep quiet and hope to squeeze a fart so that you hear it? Or just like, or busy, in your best busy, or yes, occupado, there we go. No shit, Sherlock. So yeah, what do you do when someone knocks on the toilet? Why do they knock on a toilet door when the red light's on anyway? Or they bump against it or something like that. And you're like sitting there quietly, just busy, and they disturb you. Hang on, I'm just cleaning the ceiling. Elf ruined. Bud. Yeah, you shouldn't bend down to pick up your phone when you've got the squirts, buddy. The ceiling gets it. And then talking about asses, tell me something. Remember these days you go to the doctor. Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you while we were talking about doctors and that. I went to see not a horse doctor, a natural doctor, freaking homeopath. Geez, sounds like an LGBTQ doctor. I think it's homeopath. But yeah. Yes, there we go. Homeopath. And she mixed some stuff to one tablet that I can actually get here in China. And she gave me stuff to spray for my sinuses. Let me tell you, to this very day since I've got that, not a chance have I had any problems with it. Unbelievable. My sinuses haven't given me a day's problem since then. And I had terrible, terrible sinus. But yeah, talking about temperature, you go to the doc and they just point this gun at you. But remember the old days. The old days, they had that thing that they shook. And there was an option of 3 places that you could put the this little stick that they took Sangoma, Nick. I suppose that's a stick as well. But yeah, that little mercury stick for your temperature, and you had a choice of 3 places. 3 places to take. You could either put it under the tongue, or you could put it under your arm, or in the rear. Now, I think most people by now knows that you don't come in with a meter of my rear, first of all, but who on earth came up with the idea for the rear? Sir, would you, I'll take it at the back, thank you. Nobody came up with but you can pop it in there for temperature. There we go, just squeeze a little bit harder, thank you. The mercury needs to reach its top, and therefore, I would not take it in the mouth either, because you're just not too sure who took it in the rear before you. So I always used to take the arm, as the safest option was the arm, because number one, who the hell came up with the idea of let's go for the rear? So yeah, and be careful. Don't put you put it under the arm, because you just don't know who was before you with the rear. So yeah. They say arguing with your wife is like reading a software program agreement. In the end, you just skip over the fine print and you click, I agree. How many of you read the small print? How many of you read the small print when you're clicking and you're installing software and everything to that effect? You just like, I agree. So, and then we go, whoa, these things are catching and they are taking all my personal stuff. And meanwhile, you've agreed to all your personal stuff being sent out there anyway. So yeah, my friend said to me, an onion is the is the only food that can make you cry. So so I threw a coconut at his face. There's now 2 fruits, but yeah. How's Gene Hackman and his wife's story as well? Hey, it's now a suspicious thing because they found them. Apparently, she was well, they were decomposing already by the time they found them, and then the one dog. Although apparently there were 2 dogs running around that were healthy, but one dog was dead and another one as well. So yeah. If someone had it in the rear before you, you will see the millipits. Yes, Elfront. Don't tell me the details that you've seen. Death 5. But yeah, Gene Hackman, what's so he had been dead for 9 days. But they're showing all pictures of him that's like pretty much younger. I saw actually one picture because he's 95 years old and he looks really old compared to the pictures that they're showing. Yeah, sounds like a bit of poisoning. I don't know if it was internal or external, maybe in the rear. I don't know. But yeah, nobody goes near my rear. So yeah. I'll have to find out how he did it because they must have been very private people because nobody's come around to them at all either. And if they took so long to actually get them, I mean, surely if nobody sees you in 2 or 3 days' time, they're looking for you. Yes, Michelle Trachtenberg Cam also passed away. Yeah, and she passed away pretty young. Was she 39, I think? People are just passing away left, right, and center. And here I am. Really, here I am. People are really upset about others that have passed away. I am here. But apparently it doesn't help to stick your hand up. What's Cam say? She was born a few days before my middle brother. Yeah. Yo. So yeah, today's the big return. I haven't got really many good movies on the box. I haven't seen anything really. I haven't watched TV really. I've been pretty hectic, and then I stress. I don't know why, but before I get to the Echo, I'm like really, really stressed out because I don't have like stuff put together or anything like that, and I'm thinking, I don't know what to do. But yeah, what's Cam say? My one friend's husband of 2 years also passed away. They just had a kid too. You see? It's yeah, Debbie says definitely some strange sudden deaths. Yeah. So yeah. What do they say? Only the good die young, so I don't know when I can go. He was 40, says Cameron. Hey. My friend who was about 40, 42, he died last year. My friend who's about 55 died last year. What's Debbie says? Watched Paradise series and The Capture, both good. Yeah. What did we finish watching? I actually finished watching Cobra Kai, which is all on nostalgia, but it was really, really good. And Night Agent 2 was really, really good. So I don't know if anyone's watched Night Agent 2. Really enjoyed that, and Cobra Kai as well. Book-wise, just to close off with, because I do see that we have carried over the hour at the moment as well. But book-wise, I have Audible, which at first I thought I was not going to like at all. But although I still enjoy reading the Wilbur Smith books, the other books I find, because I'm so busy trying to concentrate on reading or I'm busy with something, it's quite difficult to always be reading And when I listened to it on Audible, I was actually pleasantly surprised at how much I can understand and take in without having to reread sentences or to re-listen, etc., etc. So I finished off a book by Linda LaPlante, which I actually had started years ago, but I've bought it twice again since then and lent it out again. And Silent Scream, it was called, and it was okay. But yeah, I think the length of time, you shouldn't read a book over so much time, so many years, because I think the punch at the end just doesn't take it. And then I have there was a short one from Anthony Robbins, something about power, personal power thing or whatever, which is quite nice. And I've actually got a lot of questions. So I've found a lot of free books on life after death. What is there life after death? Because I started a lot of questioning, and I'm not going to throw the whole religious tick on you guys now, but yeah, I started a lot of questioning, and that's, I've listened to and looked at a lot of things there. But just for light reading, I've got Jeffrey Archer's 12 Red Herrings, which is a cluster of 12 stories with a twist to it, very short stories, which is nice if you just want to listen to a story. I have a short history of South Africa, which is actually just started up with all about the Neanderthal people that they found in the different caves and that over here. And then the main one that I'm actually trying to listen to is pretty controversial, because I can't actually find an agreement from people if it is a good book or if it isn't a good book, and what a Christian outlook would be on it, etc., etc. I do find it fairly fascinating, but even listening to it is very heavy. So I take very, very specific times when I'm sitting and listening, and can sit up. I don't sort of like listen when I'm going to sleep. Is the new book by blew right out of my ass now. It's called We Who Wrestle with God. Shall I forget that now all of a sudden? Just hang on a sec. Peterson. What's his name? I listen to his stuff already so much. But of course, now that I want to tell you, and I can't find Jordan Peterson. Yeah, the whole first 2 rows of Google is just like Dr. Peterson, Dr. Peterson. I'm like, no, it's Jordan Peterson. I can actually share the screen quickly. There's the book. A revolutionary offering from Jordan Peterson. What's it say? Guides us through the ancient foundation, stories of Western. And it does. It refers a lot. He's actually backs everything up with Bible verses and where it says in the Bible and what it says, etc. He analyzes the Bible accounts of rebellion, sacrifice, suffering, and triumph, and stabilizes, inspires, and unites us culturally and psychologically. Adam and Eve and the eternal fall of mankind, the resentful and ultimately murderous war of Cain and Abel, the cataclysm, flood of Noah, spectacular collapse of the Tower of Babel, Abram's terrible adventure, the epic of Moses and the Israelites. What could such stories possibly mean? What force wrote them, assembled them over the long centuries, and how did they bring our spirits in the world together and point us in the same direction? So, yeah, that's the main one that I'm busy looking at the moment, or listening to at the moment as such. But it is taking a long time because it is quite intricate to listen to his writing, because he sort of knows what he's doing. But yeah, let me just move. There we go. Day zero. I'll stop that. I was watching Tom Green movies. Tom Green, good grief. It's good. Jordan, thanks, Al, for one. The chat was right down, so I didn't see you. Thanks. Are you talking about Jordan Peterson or the shoe? Remember that ad? I'll walk around in Jordan. We'll talk around in Jordan. The audiobook, The Let Them Theory, was absolutely amazing. Okay, I'll take a look at that one as well. But anyway, guys, from my side, thanks, Word. It was very, very nice to see you all. Debbie, send regards to Colin. Condolences on your cousin, and I hope you heal up very soon. Buzzy, thanks for always following up on me. Cam, for always chatting and your interaction and that. Alfruant, you're active all of a sudden. Jordan Peterson, the 12 rules for life. What is that like, Alfruant? It's just something that is pretty fascinating. I know that's been a popular book of his. It's just because the book seemed to come out at the time that I felt the same. We who wrestle with God, and it just came out at the same time. Alfruant, tell us about it next time. Thank you very much, everybody. Have an awesome, awesome week. I will see you next week again. Whether I've got pictures or not, I don't know, but we can actually just have a lekker chat. Thank you, and thanks to Ronaldo and everyone for popping in. It has been an awesome time. Alfruant, it has been fantastic seeing you again. Who else haven't I said bye to properly now? I'm just clicked out of my chat. No, Debbie, Arbot, Cameron, Alfruant. There was also, who was here earlier on as well? Nick Miller as well. Thank you very, very much. There we are. It's 21. What? There's so much going on there. Guys, I'm going to leave you to chat now further. Oops, 21. It's the second. Take care, my friends. All the best for a fantastic week. And thank you so very much for coming around and for everything that everyone did, for all the messages as well that was put on the group and the support and the caring and that. We couldn't ask for better people and better friends. God bless. Take care. Be good. And if you can't be good, be kind.